What's up everyone, and welcome to today's video. So today I've got an interesting video for you guys. I've got a project upcoming on the Avalanche blockchain in the next couple of days. It's called React, and that stands for the Rebase Aggregator Capital Token. Now what these guys are, as you can see from this page, you're looking at Sphere, Libro, Titano, Seifu, and you're thinking, okay, is this another auto Rebase project? And there you'd be wrong. These guys are going to be something new and unique that we've kind of never seen before. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's go into a bit more detail. So scroll down here, kind of explains. So these guys aren't an auto rebase project, right? So they've not got an elastic supply. They've not got an automatic rebase system that's going to be rebasing and adding tokens every 15 or 30 minutes, something like that. They are simply a reflections token. So with every buy and sell that happens, you're going to earn reflections in AVAX. So these guys have actually got a dual passive reward system. So how it's going to work is you're going to be paid in the reflections in AVAX from the buy and sell transaction, from the percentage of the tax that goes towards that, which we'll go over soon. Then they've also got a treasury, and then their treasury is going to be used to invest in these big auto rebase projects, such as Sphere, Libero, Titano, and Seifu. And then basically what's going to happen from the money made from investing in these protocols, then you're going to pay dividends from that. So that's basically the project in a nutshell. So we'll go over here more about how it works. So native token reward reflections. So everybody, all the holders are going to be paid in AVAX. Now the reason for that is using their DApp, that's where you can basically claim your rewards. So this is going to be done manually, not automatically. So on their DApp, you're going to be able then to claim your reflections or compound them, right? So the fact that you've been paid your reflections in AVAX, then if you choose to compound, it's going to create more buys on the chart and therefore more buy pressure. So that was a reason behind choosing AVAX as their reflections token, which I think is a good idea, because then the guys that do want to compound, so the project's going well, the price is going up, people are going to want to compound, and doing this will then cause more buy pressure. And then they've got this rebase treasury here. This is what I was talking about, where a certain percentage of each buy and sell transaction is going to be sent to the treasury, which is then going to be invested in existing protocols such as Titano or Seifu or Libero or Sphere, like pretty much the biggest ones that are performing the best. These guys are going to invest into, and then dividends from that is going to be paid out to all the holders. In terms of when they get paid out, I think this happens like all the time. So you can just jump in and you can claim or compound your native token reflections pretty much whenever you want. These rebase treasury dividends are going to happen, I think it's every 3 days. So every 3 days to be paid in, and then we'll go into a little bit more detail about that, because then you have a few options then about what you can do with those dividends and how you can claim them. So these guys are going to operate like a DAO. It says here that if you hold their token, then you're going to have a say in the direction the project's going to go in the future. So, and obviously then the more React that you hold, then the more of a weight, the more of an influence that your vote has. And these guys have got, so unlike auto rebase projects, Titano, whatever, these guys have got an elastic supply, right? So every time there's a rebase, then tokens are created. Whereas these guys, considering they're just a reflections token, and that these dividends that you're getting actually from the treasury investing in different protocols, these guys, their supply is capped, right? So the amount of token supply at launch is always going to stay the same, but they have got an automatic buyback and reburn mechanism set in. So it's actually going to be, tokens going to be deflationary by nature, because tokens are being bought back and then burned, and these tokens are never going to be sold again. So the token supply is actually going to get smaller and smaller as the project goes on. And yeah, a small amount of the buy and sell tax is going to go into the liquidity to make it stronger over time. And yeah, so all this stuff in terms of claiming, voting, and everything that's going to be done is going to be on their decentralized app. So everything will be done from there. So yeah, I'm interested to see what that looks like when it's available. So there's a little nice image that kind of explains how the dual reward system works. So on one side you've got your reflections in AVAX token, and on the other side you've got your dividends from the money earned from investing in the Rebase protocols. And then what happens is that you can claim your rewards in different ways. This is what I was talking about before. So you can choose to claim your rewards in AVAX, or you can choose to compound. So it will basically compound the amount of React tokens you've got, because you'll have a 0% buy tax from doing it that way. Or the third way, which I thought was really interesting, is with all the different protocols these guys are investing in, maybe it might be Sphere and Seifu and Titano and Bro, then what you can do is you can actually choose to claim your rewards in that native token. So say for example you really like Sphere, then you can choose to claim those rewards in Sphere, which I think is a really cool idea as well. So yeah, we've definitely never seen a project like this so far. This is the first one that we've seen for the moment. And let's have a quick look at the tokenomics that these guys are offering. So there's going to be a 13% buy tax and a 15% sell tax, which is going to be a 28% tax all round trip, which is a little bit less than what the Rebase protocols offer. Usually you tend to find that buy and sell tax added together is roughly 30 to 35%, whereas this is going to be a little bit less. So, and it breaks up like this. So 5% of buy tax is going to reflections and just 1% of the sell tax. 4% of the buy tax is going to the treasury with 10% of the sell. 3% from each is going to the market, and 1% of each is going into the liquidity pool. And so just head over to the white paper now. I mean, pretty much everything I've been talking about today is it's all in this white paper, but in like a lot more detail. So you go into the features, especially they talk about the native token reflections becoming in AVAX, the claiming them, how you can do it, how often, the rebase treasury and how that works, the governance and everything about that, the buybacks, the burn, all this stuff I've been talking about, they go into it in a lot of detail. So I will put a link to the white paper in the description below. And so what we want to look at here, let's go on to pre-sale, because we're now 2 days away from the whitelisted pre-sale, which is going to be on Pink Sale. So it's going to be on the 12th of April at 5 PM UTC, and it's going to be a hard cap of 2,500 AVAX and the max contribution of 7 AVAX. So what I would advise everyone to do, because actually if you go over to their Discord now, you will see that there are some whitelist spots still available. Now, what happened was they did fill up, but then they had to then get rid of a certain amount of whitelist spots because there was inactive users and a lot of other things. So they managed to free up like a bunch of whitelist spots recently, which means that a few have opened up now for people to get a last minute chance. So the way you get whitelisted, so you have to invite a certain amount of members, get to a certain amount of rank in their Discord channel and a couple of other things, maybe with a Twitter account and stuff like that. So if you go over there and you can start working for that, because you've only got 2 days now until the pre-sale. And so obviously even if you don't manage to get a pre-sale, you can see here the hard cap is 2,500 AVAX, which at the moment works out to be roughly about $200,000, $200K. So this is actually going to be starting at a relatively low market cap if you think about the size of the project, because I do invite you guys to go over and check the Discord now. You can see they built up a lot of hype. The Discord server has 16,500 people in there, and considering that the amount of whitelisted wallets is capped at 400, you can see there being a lot of buy pressure at launch on this project. You can just check the chart, you can see they've got tons of people speaking in there. It's definitely a hype project. But yeah, even if you don't manage to get yourself into this pre-sale, this is definitely one that I would maybe look to buy on the first dip, because they're starting at such a low market cap, which would be about 200k. You know, if you can wait for that first dip, then I'd still see this as a good opportunity to buy in. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today on this one. This is definitely the first of its kind, something we've not seen before, and it's definitely something that I'm interested to see how well it works. And yeah, so thanks for listening, guys, and until next time, bye.